Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the new Chrome Tour golf ball from Callaway.
Hello there and welcome into Golf Central on this Thursday. Anna Jackson with you for the next hour. We have got Paige McKenzie standing by and Amy Rogers is live in Naples, Florida for this week's mixed team event, including some of the game's biggest stars. So let's get to it because tomorrow marks the start of the third Grant Thornton Invitational. It's a 54-hole tournament, 16 teams, each comprised of an LPGA and a PGA Tour player. You've got LPGA stars like Nelly Korda, Charlie Hull, Lydia Ko in the field this week, and then men's major champions like Jason Day and Wyndham Clark. So let's have a closer look at these pairings. So you've got 16 pairs in the field this year, including defending champions Patty Tavatanakit and Jake Knapp. Lydia Ko is back once again with Jason Day. You've got Lexi partnering Wyndham Clark. Two emerging stars in Lottie Wood and Luke Clanton will be teaming up. And both Korda sisters are in the field this year. You've got Nellie with Denny McCarthy and her sister Jessica, who will compete for the first time since becoming a mother back in February of 2024. So for more, this is a bit of a fun assignment this week. I'm so pleased to send it down to Amy Rogers, who is live there at Tiburon Golf Club. Hi, Amy.
Hey there, Anna. Yeah, I always get the lucky assignment getting to come down here and finish out the season at the Grant Thornton Invitational. And we heard for years about this desire to see these two tours team up again, the PGA and LPGA tours. So when the Grant Thornton Invitational was added back to both their schedules in 2023, there was plenty of excitement. It had been since 1999 with the J.C. Penney Classic that we had seen these two tours come together in this way. And back then, it was John Daly and Laura Davies that won. And now there's a whole new generation of players that are teaming up and getting to know each other through the Grant Thornton Invitational. And I have heard through these first 2 years of this event from so many players that I have spoken to how they just have such an awe and an admiration for what their teammates are able to do on the golf course. And for so many of them, this is an opportunity just to get to know each other, like Jason Day and Lydia Ko, who met for the very first time when they teamed up in 2023. They went on to win that first year of the Grant Thornton Invitational, and they forged a lasting friendship ever since.
I've always been a fan of Jason, so when they were like, how would you like to play with Jason Day? And I was like, would you like to play Jason Day? Like, you have to say that, you know, in your mind, you're like, wow, it's like a dream come true. So I was glad that we won in 23 because I thought that would up our chances of playing together the year after. And, you know, just to be here, you know, 3 years straight, it's awesome. You know, I just have a great time, and I think the chemistry we have, you know, between us and our caddies, I think that is probably the best part of this week.
It's great. I mean, obviously, it's I said it out there that she's a Hall of Famer, and it's always nice to be around greatness and kind of see what she does, not only before the round, what she does practicing. You can always learn, you know, every tournament you play, you can always learn, especially from anyone that you're around. And Lydia's a complete professional when it comes to her golf game. So it's nice to be able to see what she does great on the golf course, talking about what she does great, how she does it, and then trying to put that into my game somehow.
When I was playing with Nelly back 3 years ago, I knew she was a great ball striker. I knew she was going to hit it great. I was really impressed with how she handled her, you know, she never got too high, never got too low, but some really tricky shots around the green, into the green. This place has some nasty into the green shots, and her short game really showed off that week. And I feel like I kind of stole a couple of her, you know, little techniques that she uses on her short game that I kind of use to this day. So thank you.
No problem. I mean, for me, it's like whenever you play in team competitions, I've been lucky enough to get to do that a couple times throughout my career. It's just never saying sorry, and you know that everyone's going to hit bad shots, everyone's going to hit good shots, but not to get too down on yourself when you're not playing well, and just know that your partner has your back.
Korda also pointed out how important events like the Grant Thornton Invitational are for growing the LPGA, as it's weeks like this that just create a whole different level of excitement for fans that they don't get to experience week in and week out. Anna?
Totally agree, Amy. This is just fresh. It's so good for the game, and it's going to be really fun to watch. We'll see you throughout the week. In case you haven't watched the Grant Thornton before, this is a reminder of the format. Each round will feature a different format. Friday will be the scramble, which means there'll be several teams that'll shoot under 60. Saturday will be foursomes, also known as alternate shot, and Sunday will be a modified 4-ball. So after both players tee off, they switch balls for their second shots and play that same ball until it is hold. So, Paige, we're now into the third year of the Grant Thornton. We've had some really cool winners so far. I go back to Lydia and Jason Day winning that first edition. Just what a pairing they've been. What trends have you noticed in these successful pairings over the last couple of years?
Well, every week I try to kind of predict what this golf course or what any golf course will reward as it relates to past champions and what kind of trends I see. Now, the two teams that have won, very different styles of play, but there are trends as it relates to how they partner together. So that's what I want to take a look at today. And you can see Lydia Ko and Jason Day. This is their season-long stats back in 2023. Not a great season for Lydia. In fact, it was this event that kind of kick-started her 2024. What I want you to pay attention to, the accuracy numbers, while the rank is quite different, the actual percentage is only 1% difference in how their driving accuracy stacks up. And of course, their strength, not so much in the greens and regulation category, but in the putting. So when I started looking at partnerships, they actually paired up really well because their games are a bit similar. The same could be said in last year's winner. When you look at Patty Tavatanakit, and Jake Knapp, both power players. Look at those driving distance numbers for both players in the top 25 on their respective tours. Also, tend to spray the ball a bit off of the tee. But this is a golf course that has very wide corridors. That is not important. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if a longer hitting team would do well again this year. But when I started looking kind of at the partnerships, and like I said, it didn't seem to favor long hitters back in 2023, but certainly teams that match up well together. When I tried to extrapolate what does that mean for this year, and what teams stood out to me, this is the team that stood out to me. Jennifer Kupcho and Chris Gotterup. You can see the driving distance, both of them very much power players. Not as much accuracy off the tee, but again, does not matter on this golf course. But the greens and regulation percentage, nearly identical in their rank, on their GIR on respective tours. So when I look at kind of partnerships that might play similar styles of game, I'm looking at Jennifer and Chris. And Kupcho, by the way, did play at the CME Tour Championship just a couple of weeks ago. Again, same golf course. Had the first 3 rounds tremendous, 69, 68, 66, stumbled a bit on Sunday, but she also would be bringing into this week not only a good partner, but some good form.
That's right, also winning the Aon Risk Reward Challenge this year as well, picking up that $1 million bonus. No one's played par fours better than she has this season, so yes, they could be a formidable pairing. Can't wait for it, Paige. You don't forget, you can watch the Grant Thornton Invitational. That is beginning tomorrow here on Golf Channel, 1 p.m. Eastern. Saturday coverage begins on Golf Channel again at 2 before heading over to NBC at 3, and the final round Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern on NBC.